Take 4. Did you ever stop learning?
Oh, you never stop learning. I guess you never stop learning about anything, but certainly not in this case. I covered the Indochina War for 11 years and other wars on the periphery, and right up to the last days I was learning. In fact, after Saigon fell in 1975, on the afternoon it fell, I was covering film with the Viet Cong, with the Viet Cong North Vietnamese troops. The last firefight, I guess it was, in Saigon, right in Saigon itself, and being with those troops, I was starting to learn all over again, and that was just for a few minutes, 11 years into my experience in Indochina. So you never stop learning, ever.
Can you tell me why some cameramen will get carried away with the TV screen in the firefight?
Well, I think particularly with cameramen there is the danger of feeling yourself divorced from the action. You're looking through a viewfinder which looks very much like a television screen, blocking off everything else. Only through there can you see like a horse with blinkers, or like watching television. And there is the danger of feeling yourself divorced from the action, as if you're not there, you're only a spectator. And at times I've found myself in that position, but I constantly reminded myself that it wasn't so.
Can you tell me why it's more dangerous to try and run back rather than go forward, to set yourself a better target?
Yes, I say never go back when the troops are going forward, because you become an obvious target, you become disengaged from the action and probably on your own, and anything unusual attracts the attention of the other side. If you're wearing something different, or if you are unattached, not attached to the one unit, something which catches the eye of the infantryman on the other side may draw his fire right onto you, when maybe the only thing you want to do is get the hell out of there.
Why is an embankment just a few inches high? Why can that be of use to you?
Well, your body is only a few inches high, and if you can get behind an embankment which is 5 or 6 or 10 or hopefully about 10 feet high, well, it's going to save you. But 10 inches may save you also, or even 3 or 4.
Cut. Rolling. Take 5. Can you give me the background to that incident in Hue?
Yes, I remember being in Hue with the American troops. They can sometimes be quite insensitive, equally as insensitive as any other soldiers, any other people in the world. Sometimes I think more so than the Asian soldiers, their Asian counterparts. I was with an American unit in Hue, and quite heavy fighting. A young man in civilian clothes, I well remember, a white shirt and black slacks, came out a distance of about 100 meters, maybe less, and waved to them, obviously showing he had nothing in his hands, and was gesturing. He wanted to come across. There were a lot of civilians in that area, as well as North Vietnamese and Viet Cong soldiers. But they opened fire on him and drove him into a small shack. A few minutes later, after they'd poured quite a lot of fire into that shack, amazingly, because it was only a flimsy wooden affair, he came out waving what appeared to be a white flag, something white anyway, waving above his head. And there was a pause among the Americans. They really didn't know what to do, but then their sergeant gave the order to open fire.
What did you think about that?
I thought that it was no different to many other soldiers in combat. It was maybe the first time that a newsman had been with the Americans in the Vietnam War and seen what we would call a violation of the Geneva Convention, or whatever you want to call it. Of course, violations of so-called rules and laws governing warfare are being violated all the time. But that was rather early in the Vietnam War, and it showed that the Americans could violate the conventions just as easy as anybody else.
Did you do anything to try and stop it when it was apparent what was going to happen?
Well, it was happening before I could stop it, actually. and there's no way you can stop it while it's on. They're concentrating, a little maddened and caught up in the excitement. And afterwards, I confess I did little except tell the story. That's all a newsman can do after all, I think. I don't think we set ourselves up as courts governing the behaviour of people anywhere. We are reporters, and I did report it.
Are you reporters first or human beings first?
That's a good question. So that's a question that rises time and time again with reporters and journalists in the field. I think you report what you see. In that way, you're being a human being too, I hope. If you have the opportunity to stop something, yes. I did sometime later. I was with South Vietnamese, very good soldiers. They were fighting in Cambodia just after Cambodia had been invaded by the American and South Vietnamese forces.